Yes, folks, how are you? Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever time you are watching this video. My name is Ezra Ondara and you are watching Ezra Ondara TV. This is episode 4 of Housing Hub. Housing Hub is a series on this channel which delves into all matters housing, from the foundation all the way to the finishing. And today we have gone even further backwards, okay, to actually the acquiring of property, of land, you know, when it comes to land matters, you know, etc. So with me today I have an important guest. I have a property advocate, a real estate lawyer. What do you call them in your, you know, in your area? All right, so he's here with me. He's about to introduce himself and then we can talk about matters real estate and related to law. Sawa sawa. Aya, so now folks, let's keep rolling. My friend, yes. Welcome to Ezra Ondara TV.
Asante sana.
So unaweza anza kujintroduce kwanza and then we proceed.
Okay, my name is Kevin Nam. I'm an advocate of the High Court practicing in Nakuru, Kenya.
All right, very well. So now let's talk about property. Okay, land. I mean, we have seen in this country, I mean, I have so many questions actually. For instance, recently we saw these demolitions of homes at Mavoko. And you know, when I was watching that, I'm asking myself, how can it happen that you have gone and you have bought property and you have been given title deed, etc. Then a few years down the line, somebody else comes to say, now, this is my property. I mean, but somebody has a title deed and they believe it is valid. So how do we get there from your space?
Recently, actually, there's been a ruling from the highest court, Supreme Court. You know, the title deed is just but a paper. It's a paper, unless you did the proper procedure in acquiring the same. I'm actually venturing into that ruling. It will explain your answer, your question rather. It is in regards to a former president. It was a land in Nyali Beach, around 1.2 acres, which the county of Mombasa was trying to take back for that land grabbing issue. So the Supreme Court ruled that without due process, that title cannot be legitimate. To answer your question, sometimes you might get that paper, what you call the title deed. You have it. Previously, courts have been saying that is proof and enough evidence that you are the owner of that land. But nowadays, you have to now follow that due diligence. You have to also prove that you used all means to get that title deed and what were the process that you followed. That's when you require experts in this. Now,
you've spoken about procedures and due diligence, because hiyo sasa ndio kitu yenye sasa mimi najiuliza zaidi. What exactly is due diligence? By the time somebody has a title deed, obviously they did all that due diligence. Lawyers were involved, you know, probably for both parties, and then we arrived at a conclusion that give this person, you know, a title deed, which is now a document that shows I am the legal owner of this property. So what is due diligence, like in a nutshell?
Okay, due diligence will entail, first of all, at least, let's say you want to buy a property. As on your side, before even engaging an expert, maybe experts will include a surveyor, a lawyer, and maybe a real estate agency. So as the buyer, literally, you know, the seller does not need that due diligence on his side. He is the one selling. So you have to at least visit that land, first of all, at least see the physical side of it and every aspect. If you are not around, maybe for foreigners, you can at least give somebody that it's called a power of attorney, to which can be registered at the lands office. That person, he or she, will now go to that land, look at it, you or that person. After that, now you can come back, engage now an expert, a surveyor, a lawyer. This might be funny, but courts have also ruled local drunkard. You know, local drunkards know more than even experts. You go to somewhere, call somebody on the side. Buy something to him. This was a ruling this month, actually. It was a judgment this month. The judge, it was a Malindi case. The judge had ruled that you need a surveyor, maybe a lawyer, and a local drunkard, and especially a local drunkard, because a local drunkard yeye ndo amekuwa area, yeye ndo anajua hapa, yeye ndo ataongea maneno mingi
out of nowhere.
So that falls part of the due diligence. After at least you have done that side of the bit, when you engage now maybe a lawyer or one of these experts, now a local drunkard, I will not specify like an expert, that's an informal expert. So you get your expert, you'll do a land search first of all. You acquire the title deed from the seller. You need that title deed at least to prove that he's the owner. The title deed will, you may part of that situation. You have like 5 people with the same title deed, but at least when you get a title deed from the seller who is now selling you, you will need a title deed, an ID of that person, and a KRA pin. This will assist you in getting to do a search of the lands. There's been now a proposal from the Ministry of Lands nowadays to increase on those rates, but that's not it's still a proposal. But a search will majorly cost you at least 1,000 shillings. Just go do that search. The search will now tell you this is the owner. If the land has any encumbrance, let's say a charge from the bank or a financer, or it has a court case, it will also write to you. The lands registry will have written on that search. If it is clean, we just found nil, everything is nil. But if it has any encumbrance, you'll find that now that land is not good for you. After that, it's advisable also to look at the maps for the boundaries and everything on the sort. Then after that, you can now engage a lawyer to do an agreement for you.
So, but Wakili, so I mean, does it mean, for instance, the people at Mavoko, I mean, were they fools? I mean, by the time you are doing all that, people have built mansionettes, people have built bungalows, people are living there, prestigious homes. And then in no minute they are taken down by an excavator or something. I mean, were those people fools? Didn't they go through that process? Or there are people who are, I mean, wako na ukora mingi kuliko the law?
What you have just described is now I'm going to cartels. You've heard about cartels are still there. You'll go, they are corrupt public officials, sorry to say this. You have done your due diligence, but kumbe file ni mbili. Whatever you are finding from the green card, the search, is whatever you'll be relying on. So as even advocates are found in this mess because you are the one who did this. So everybody is looking at you, but you'll find you have done everything in your power to get a legitimate title. You know, that title, for it to get out, for you to have that legitimate title, it has come from the land registry. And even the chief registrar of the land registrar has already appended their signature and their stamp. So you'll not be a fool. You're not a fool per se, but you are a victim of circumstance. You can say that.
All right, you mentioned Malindi earlier, and right now there are so many real estate companies which have run all the way down to Malindi, and they are selling property there. Hopefully the people who are buying property there, few years down the line, usiende kujenga pale nyumba yako a holiday home, then somebody will come out of nowhere to say, now get out of here. I mean, it hurts. It hurts actually. Now Wakili, mimi as a content creator, I'm also into the real estate space. And I go around, I market other people's property, and soon I'm even getting into marketing property for real estate companies. How do I protect myself, for example, from unscrupulous dealings? Kama hiyo ya kuenda, okay, I could be the agent who maybe nime facilitate you to get a property with a certain company. A few years down the line, ukuje kupata uko na shida tena mwenyewe sasa ule mwenyewe ajitokeza akuja aseme mimi I don't know about these things. So how do I protect myself from there? Because a customer can blame me equally. It is you, Ezra, who took me to this place. How do I protect myself?
Thank you for that question. as we have already mentioned, there's that due diligence you have to do. For your question, I'll recommend that sometimes you follow with like lawyers or surveyors to at least know that property, but you should not be blamed because in law there's something called caveat emptor. Caveat emptor, it means buyer beware. The buyer has to be the one to do the most of this work. Their due diligence, you are just advertising, doing whatever you have to do, but that buyer has to also go an extra mile to confirm and verify some documents, and if indeed whatever you are advertising belongs to that owner. Yeah, so yours is limited, I presume.
All right, at least hapo niko safe. Now, what happens after you have approved a property for sale? Okay, maybe you as a lawyer, then later there are issues. Okay, are you the one to blame as the lawyer because a client has entrusted you, you know, you the lawyer now, take over, you know, the due diligence, etc., the procedures. Are you the one to blame? You know, kunaenda aje? Yet client no ndiye ametrust. Hii kazi nimekupea wewe ni buy. It could be a commercial property, etc. So what happens there after then? Now there are issues. Okay,
literally the client will feel like you are to blame, but when you engage on a one-on-one, you'll have to find where the problem was. You'll find, you know, we don't work in the land registry. We're also duped by what I've told you. Even cartels are there. They just create false documents just to get some few cash, and they leave you with your clients kwa shida kubwa sana. So in such kama like now you'll find a lot of cases in court. The Chief Justice recently in the financial year for the judiciary 2022 to 2023, she indicated that there were around 14,600 land cases. So I presume they are brought with such things. Good to say the judiciary is working very hard to settle these cases. It was commendable, at least I've seen actually, it was 9,600 cases that were filed in the past 1 year. But out of this, around 6,500 have been solved. Wow. So you'll find the case ratio in closing these cases are very fast nowadays. But not to waver away from your question, cases are there. You can go to court. It's either that buyer will sue you, or also the seller can sue because of breach of contract and other things. It depends who brought this issue. So there's that. There's the National Land Commission also. It listens to. It's a tribunal. It has a tribunal. It listens to cases. Also the National Environment Complaints Committee. That also listens to these cases. But sometimes you'll find huku nje pia people go to the chief ile tuongee kwanza tuone. So you solve it most likely through cases suits.
Kwa hivyo ndo kusema pia lawyer anaweza chezo.
Nobody is perfect.
By the way, now who needs a lawyer? Seller, buyer, or both parties?
It should be both. It's very advisable to just seek a legal advice here and there. If you cannot afford it, sometimes ongelesha wakili vizuri, mnaweza kutana. You know, the buyer and the seller can come with their lawyers, but mnaweza tumia the same lawyer to save on costs. And from our side, I'll advise anybody to also engage a surveyor. It's not literally lawyers only. Also surveyors, the real estate also. Umeona ile engagers ready titles, of which I usually question. Ready titles have to have a transfer. They have a title, yes, but you cannot find a ready title at Ezra kuja lipa pesa sahi title yako.
Yeah, but then let's talk about ready titles, because property sellers, especially real estate companies, they usually say ready title deeds. So is it produced with a number, just name tu ndio imebaki kuandika pale so and so? Ama cause again aiandikwe na kalamu.
Aiandikwe na kalamu.
So when they say ready title deeds, what exactly do they mean by the way?
But okay, it's kind of a sales gimmick, I presume. It's ready title. From my perception, I presume that is a title that is a mother title.
Okay.
They are yet to subdivide that land, but it means once everybody has paid or they have enough resources to now transfer, they literally mean this transfer process haitakaia sana. Utapata title yako instantly. They say that.
They usually say some 3 months, some 6 months. Hivyo. By the way, how many years have you been a lands advocate?
I was admitted in 2020. This is my 4th year. I'm entering my 5th year next year. Actually, I started as a general practitioner. For the past 1.5 years, I've been dealing with corporate and real estate majorly.
And can you, like right now you're based in Nakuru.
Yeah.
Can you solve a case in Malindi? Can you solve a case in Kisii, or is just within?
No.
Are you limited?
That's why we are advocate of the High Court of Kenya.
Yeah.
The whole of Kenya.
Okay.
Especially I commend the judiciary, which was highly brought by COVID-19. Nowadays, courts sit virtually.
Yeah.
I can be in Nakuru, but I'm in a Migori court, a Narok court, a Malindi court. You can do it. Yeah. So you can work from anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. So, who needs your services in the property space?
The property space.
Buyer, seller, or both, but I think you have answered that one.
I have answered.
I have written it here.
It will be both.
I was about to ask again, why do property disputes take too long to resolve? Unasikianga hii shamba ziko na case.
Yeah.
Like there is one pale White House.
Yeah.
Napitanga hapo, it's an eyesore, but you hear, nini word in the street, says that iko na case. So I'm like, people, I met somebody who had told me, ever since they were little boys and girls, they saw that property like that. Until this day, tunasikia bado iko na case. So why do these cases take ages?
That's a very good question. Najua imesumbua watu wengi. For such cases, they are literally because of succession. Unaona hii watu wanapigania boma, wanapigania mali, because you will find some families are not contented with others getting some share. So unapata it's not literally a land case, but about subdivision. So unapata watu waelewani, court inawaambia rudi mediation, end arbitration. Mnakuja, you feel like somebody does not deserve to have a portion of this land. So unapata imewekwa caveat. Caveat ni nobody to deal with this land until maybe your case iishe. So you'll find zina drag because of that.
They take ages.
Yeah.
Property
utapata hata wakili anakuja na file inatoshana hivi. Yeah.
Hivi?
Yeah, imeanza 1994. Bado kesi ya 94 inaendelea.
By the way, as a wakili wewe mwenyewe, wakati uko na file inatoshana hivyo, do you now say I'm not listening to any other case? Juu sasa mimi na focus kwa hii, kwa sababu surely files zikitoshana hivi.
Hata unaona kama hizi za post election vile zinatoshana, hiyo ni kionjo. So
yes.
Hiyo tuseme ni kubwa sana, but for others like individual cases, unless it's a complex case, utafata hata labda 2 at most.
Okay. So how many cases can you handle at a go?
At a go in terms of per day, per month?
Per day, per month. On your normal schedule, like unaweza kuwa na hii case. Unaona kama mimi naweza piga hizi video kaa 10 in a day. Unaona, so
I goes with the diary. No, if it is litigation, utapata if hearing, you can handle 5 to 10 kama ni vitu zinaenda haraka per day. When you go to conveyancing, now conveyancing it entails properties. Sasa it will be like agreements you can do even 100 in a day. Depends with the inflow of work. Na vile umejipanga.
Na kesi mingi inamaanisha pesa mingi kwa mfuko.
The better. Tunaombaga.
Would you maybe like to tell us about your fees and billing?
Okay.
You
as me, I'll not speak as me, but I'll speak as an advocate. We are guided by it's called Advocates Remuneration Order 2014. Hiyo kitu imekwa watu wasiandakata. Unaona kama mkate inauzwa 100, wewe usikuje useme niko na ya 50. Unaambiwa the least amount you should charge is this. Ukitaka kama for sale of land, for example, Schedule 1. Schedule 1 deals with sales of land. Wakili wako ama tuseme mimi ndakuonesha for example a property inatoka from 1 million to 5 million. The schedule inasema uchukue 2% of the value ama 35,000 or whichever iko high. Unaona, kwa hiyo nini, so inaendelea ikiguide. It's a guideline for fees. So it avoids unasikia watu wana masquerade. Mtu anakuambia mwakili, unasikia kuna wakili analipisha 100,000, wewe unaona ni expensive, anakulipisha according to your schedule. But kunapata sasa kuna mtu amejificha mahali anakuambia 20,000. It literally cheap is expensive. Kesho utaelewa. Utaelewa mbona.
I know a guy who can do it cheaper.
Who can do it cheaper. Yeah. So kesho ukikuwa kwa hizi mashida utajipata kumbe ulikuwa na deal na hata si wakili ama ni mtu tu.
Speaking about that, kuna wakili alikuwa juzi in your space. Anaitwa somebody Mwendwa.
Allegedly called Brian Mwenda.
Brian Mwendwa. Alafu pale kwa X wanasema ati jamaa amesolve 40 cases. Alafu sasa after 40 cases ndo sasa wanakuja kugundua kumbe si wakili. Wakili, how can somebody operate in your space? Mnaenda naye kotini, Milimani locals mko pale, ako hapo, and you don't notice like we don't know this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, how can somebody come into your space now you don't, like nobody knows?
Najua, okay, people are creative. That I can say. I've seen
Kenyans.
Kenyans, especially Kenyans.
Yeah.
Kenyans are go-getters.
Yeah, sure.
That guy, if he decided to use that means to go and be an advocate, you know, for you to be an advocate, at least go to a certified school like Moi, Kabarak, UN, Square, etc. After that, you have to go to the advocates training program. The NATO advocates training program in Kenya School of Law, Kenya KSL. It takes 18 months. If you don't, unaona hata mtu akipata degree peke yake, that's a lawyer. He is can be a consultant, can do anything. But without the diploma from Kenya School of Law, you are not an advocate.
Okay.
You have to pass through all this process to be an advocate. So some people outside here utapata amedunga suti vizuri.
Yeah.
Unaweza
Yes.
Unaweza amua ukwe wakili wa mashamba na mtu unajiweka ka ofisi mahali.
Ile kitu inaweza nishinda ni lugha. They are all here in underwritten.
Inaitwa legalist.
Hiyo legalist inaweza nishinda.
Yeah, so you'll find some people kama tuseme yeye, tuseme kwanza hiyo 40 case, I think that is 21, which I find it hard to believe in it. But you know, for such cases inamaanisha pia the clients who are represented wako kwa shida kidogo, because literally he was filing papers that were not legitimate in courts.
Okay. Now, wewe sasa unajua ukiwa kwa hii platform, you are here also to market yourself. Ama nyinyi watu wa law amtakangi marketing?
Sisi tumekatazwa kidogo. Kuna regulations. But as for me, if maybe somebody needs my services, maybe they can reach to me through my personal number, 0735 039 309, or my email, kevinam3, the digit.
Okay.
kevinam3@gmail.com. So from there we can go on with a prospective client.
So you guys are not allowed to shout like, subscribe to Ezra Ondara TV. You're not
that is called touting. Touting. Unajua hiyo ni kazi si kunini ya makanga kidogo ile, kuja Njoro.
So sisi ni makanga.
Ile kuja ingia Njoro Mall.
Mbao.
Siwezi sema ingia Westside Mall, ingia wakili yako hapa. Siwezi sema hivyo.
Wow. So yani mnaita hiyo touting?
Inaitwa touting kwetu.
Bana ni kazi ya makanga bana. So nikisema hapa subscribe to Ezra Ondara TV.
Yako ni different. Touting hiyo kimbia nje na maplacards na vitu, unaona. Wewe for the dignity of the profession, hata ukipata wakili na suti pale anatembea na placards.
Ama wakili kesi
charging at whatever rate, but that's all I can say for advertisement.
Okay. Sawa. Very well. I was about to ask you if you can represent anyone in Kenya, but you told me earlier.
Yeah. Anywhere in Kenya, we can do that.
But then what's the difference between an advocate and a lawyer?
For that question, ni vile tu nimekuambia, a lawyer will just go through the degree session. You have gone to a university, you have gained your degree, now you have a degree in law, LLB. That you become a lawyer. But sasa, do you need another extra diploma to become an advocate of the High Court? You go to Kenya School of Law. Yeah.
So
After kwanza paka ukishamaliza imaanisha tumemaliza tu Kenya. You have to also be enrolled to the bar by the Chief Justice. Once your name is enrolled in the bar, now you become an advocate.
I see folks calling them, calling each other, my learned friend, senior counsel.
Yeah.
So maybe unaweza tusaidia sisi ambao tunangojanga kila elections ziishe, tuongoje tena kesi, tusikie pale, tuanze kusikia senior counsels, PLO wakuja pale warusha majina kubwa kubwa. Senior counsel, I mean, how do you become a senior counsel?
Senior counsel, okay. Kuna senior, kuna watu tunawaita senior, like in my profession, kuna mtu utapata practice here for more than even somebody who is ahead of me or either 2 years, 1 year, namuita senior. Huyo ni because nakwambia they were enrolled to the bar, to the role of advocates ahead of me. So huyo ni senior too. But for senior counsel, it's a different, mtu kama Professor Ujenda, kina Ahmed Nasira, senior counsel, kina Orengo, because there are requirements. Si ati unakuwa tu senior counsel, kuna certain requirements iko coded pale kwa Advocates Act. Ukifuata hizo, uqualify, you can now apply to be a senior counsel. Yeah, that sasa ni wale tunaita mabazu.
Mabazu in your area, Sasa as an advocate, challenges kwa kazi yako zinakuwa gani? Especially advocates wa mashamba sasa. Ama niseme advocates wa mashamba, ina sound kama you're touting. Ebu sema like your legal name, sasa your legal title as yourself.
My legal title.
Yeah, your legal title. Okay, I don't want to say advocate wa mashamba. Huyu ni advocate wa mashamba. You know that is touting.
Wakili wa mashamba.
Huyu ni wakili wa mashamba.
Wakili wa mashamba wamejaa wengi.
Give us the legal title ambayo nafani nitumie from now mpaka tumalize interview.
Okay. Kuna for advocates who deal with properties, they are called conveyancing lawyers. Conveyancing lawyers. Sasa hiyo ndo sana utasikia huku nje. So hiyo ndo ina deal na mashamba sana pale, whatever you need, it depends on your need as a client. So ni conveyancing lawyer.
Conveyancing
advocate.
Lawyer. So now as a property advocate, as a conveyancing lawyer, basi challenges kwa kazi zenu zinakuwa kama gani?
Vile tulisema kwanza your fraud. You know, even you will think you have done the perfect job, kumbe kuna watu pia wanawachezea hiyo upande mwingine. But at least tunaweza sema with the current government or even previous zinajaribu kutoa these cartels. You know, these cartels who brings a lot of this fraudulent transaction. Another thing ni vitu kama if you find land issues, unaweza pata ni individual or communion land. Communion lands ziko na rules zao, huku individual iko na rules zao. So when you are buying or selling or you represent somebody, you'll find that inaleta some challenges also to clear some brief, what we call brief. Another thing maybe we can point out on clients kudanganya. Pia client anaweza kuja akuambie kumbe amecheza karata yake huko. Wewe ujui. Unajua kuna watu tu wanataka uwaamini tu, but hapo ndo at least as an advocate ushajua vitu where to press, what to look at. But sometimes it's a challenge ukipata ni ule client mkora zaidi. Sasa inaweza kusumbua kidogo. Another challenge tunasema changes in laws. Maana laws kila saa inaanza kuwa complex, regulations, kuna regulation, kuna law, kuna sijui nini. No, kama sasa hivi what we had earlier spoken about, fees zina increasewa. Fees unashangaa kwanza kuexplainia mtu anadhani unamgonga. You think huyu wakili anataka kukula sana. Kumbe things are changing huko outside, ama you don't even know. Sometimes even lawyers we learn every day. Learn every day. So sometimes unapata you are behind on a law, ama you are ahead, and some clients are not aware of it. Uninformed clients, or public awareness from the government. You'll find hiyo pia ni challenge kwa wakili, because utapata you have a client, tuseme hata ni mzee ama illiterate ama hata mtu literate, unajua haelewi maneno ya shamba. So you'll spend a lot of time explaining to them procedure. Unapata kuna ule client anakuja tena kesho anakupigia kabla hata akupe a brief, mumekaa almost 2 weeks kila saa ni maswali Sasa umesema tukifanya hivi, ulisema ni kujirudia. So basically those there are a lot of challenges, but I can mention those as a few.
All right, very well. Why does this job seem like an intricate and a complex job for me? Here job yako. I mean, kama saizi vile KCP zilitoka, for example, there are folks who score 421, 400. You know, you ask them, what do you want to become? I want to become a lawyer. Why does it seem a complex job for me?
I usually say law is a calling.
It's a calling.
It's a calling. You see why it seems complex to you? So it's a calling. I mean, I believe in that. You don't just go to do law because you unaona umeona Kevin anafanya law, acha hata mimi nifanye hii law. Mimi nilijisikiaga na hilo kitu yangu, unaona. So you'll find some people drop out of law school because of such, because they did it for pressure from home, pressure from their side, or whatever, So it's kind of complex. It's complex by there. That's why unasikia learned and
my learned friend.
But the books we read ni inaweza fanya you feel like kichwa ina explode, but if you get used to it, it's becoming like something on your fingertips. So it's not complex as such, but complex to those who have not gone through this procedure. If you got through the procedure, you are now certified. Hata unaweza fanya ukitaka kurudi degree yako ingine unaweza fanya tu, but it's kind of complex from outside, but when you get to do 1 2 1 2 it becomes easier. That's why we learn from experience. In our field inakuwaga experience. The more you are in the field, in the practice, the more you gain this experience. Inakuwaga hata rahisi. Something you used to do last year maybe when inakutake 1 day or 2 days, unashukia unafanya na 1 hour. Unaona, hata ndio there is that saying, mtu alikuwa anasema kuna uwezi pata wakili, uwezi elewa kazi ya wakili, unaweza kuja kwangu I need an agreement. Si ni kitu utafanya na 20 minutes, 10 minutes. But hapo ndo nakwambia nilienda school for 6 years to do it in 10 minutes. So wewe unaweza kabla ufanye agreement unaweza kutake 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Because Google na ufanye the wrong clauses also. But from our end, the more you learn, the more unakaa kwa field, inaanza kuwa so shorter for you. You take little effort. So the complexity reduces. Depending also on the laws that come.
Very well. Nice. So sisi unajua tumezoea kuwatch pale TV, tunaona tu kina Cliff Wambeta na huyo rafiki yake anaitwa aje? Those famous na Danston Omar.
Ni wa criminal. Criminal lawyers.
No criminal lawyer. So law is so wide, kuna advocate, kuna
kuna can be a general practitioner. General sasa huko kila mahali tu, but kuna huyo criminal, kuna civil, kuna property lawyer, sasa hiyo conveyancing, kuna wa family au wa divorce, children, kuna ama unaweza amua wewe ni wa jack of all trades. Economy pia allow focus.
Ukataka kitu kama so no wonder we see those two folks so often on TV, like every week utasikia tu from Danston Omari na Cliff Wambeta. Because since umesema they are in the criminal, well, of course, there is a lot of crime.
There's a lot
scandals. So
the more the law is stringent, the more crimes happen outside. And I love the state of the economy here. You never know. Things just happen huko nje. So you never know.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you for your time, wakili. Mpaka hapo ndo mwisho wa zile maswali nilikuwa nazo. Kama clients wako na swali zingine wanaweza DM pale, unaweza kuforwardia comments, or as well you can also reach to him through his number which he mentioned if you have any question, and of course even if you need his services. Au amesema they don't tout, yani sisi tunasema subscribe, kwao ni kutout, so them kutulia tu. Okay, them ni cool. Lakini mimi nitawaambia subscribe to Ezra Ondara TV. You have been watching Housing Hub is a series on this channel which delves into all matters real estate from the foundation to the finish of a home. So that's why we call it housing. Okay, it is that, you know, it's engulfing. Okay, hiyo maneno yote. So mpaka hapo. See you in the next one, episode 5. I'll be talking with a tile expert so that tujibu ile maswali, mbona mahali ingine unaweka tiles ziko sijui ziko na maua, mahali ingine unaweka tiles na kazi sijui aje. So episode 5, look forward to that one as well. But yeah, so up to that point, that's it. Any final remark from you?
My final remark ni use a lawyer, don't be cheap. If you are doing a transaction, it means there's money involved.
Yeah.
Fika bei.
Yeah.
It will assist you in avoiding a lot of circumstances that you could have avoided before. Kama ungechukua service ya wakili ama surveyor ama somebody. That is in regards to property.
Yeah. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.